That LEGO Enterprise D is pretty nice, eh?
It sure is, especially after the superficial changes we made to it.
Well, I won't settle for superficial, so let's gear out for a more drastic alteration.
Drastic alteration?
Come on, we've talked about this in our detailed review. About that, it's a nice touch, don't get me wrong, but flip this also over and, where's its phaser array? There was one on both sides, you know. Why make the effort to put one on the dorsal surface, but not on the ventral one?
Is it, mockable? We might have to look into that.
Well, I looked into that, and I think we can do something about it.
I guess you must have an eye for such possibilities, being an engineer and all.
You better believe it.
What have you got in mind?
Okay, well, let's disconnect the saucer from the star drive section. Now, you see the dorsal phaser array is clipped on in 1, 2, 3, 4 sections on one side with a different attachment by the main shuttle bay. So on the underside, we'll have to replicate that here, 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 and here, and at the center here, and do the same for the other side.
Well, that's going to require a bunch of parts.
It actually won't be that many, Gigi. I've actually gathered them all here. Here's what we'll be needing. Let's start with those flexible hoses. They are the same that came with the official Enterprise model, so we'll be needing 2 of the smaller ones and 2 of the larger ones, both in flight silver. Then we'll need a bunch of light gray parts, starting with 14 1x2 slope pieces, 8 1x2 plates, 14 1x1 tiles, 2 2x2 quarter tiles, and 1 4x2 wedge plate and its counterpart for the other side. We'll also need 14 modified 1x2 plates with a clip to attach those flexible hoses, and 2 1x1 round tiles with a bar, both in dark gray, and finally 2 bar holders with clip in flat silver.
Huh. That's it?
That's it. 57 pieces is all you need for this proposed refit.
So what are we waiting for? Let's get mudding. Thanks, McCluck. I'll take it from here. Based on what you described, we're gonna have to remove a bunch of sloped pieces from the underside of the saucer section so that we can add those 1x2 clip plates.
We'll also need to replace those 3x6 wedge plates on either side of the neck connection.
I must say, it was quite tricky to remove some of them as they were very well inserted, and applying pressure to prise them out put stress on the other parts of the structure, which meant we had to be quite careful so as not to weaken other areas. Well, we should have done that during the original building process then.
We were following the instructions, Gigi. It's only afterwards that we started to think about how we could improve the model.
And in any case, careful's our middle name. So with a little diligence, we were able to remove all the now unnecessary parts from the saucer's underside. I don't think the engineers at Utopia Planitia could have done better. Now's the time to add those new parts. There are 3 different sections around the saucer that need to be changed. The ones nearest the neck connection were actually the trickiest, so let's start with them. Okay, here's how that section looked in the original model. Those parts are grey, Captain, not red. It's a concept image, Gigi. I chose red for the existing parts to make it easier to see where the new pieces go. Ah, right. So, we start by removing that 6x3 wedge plate and replacing it with the 4x2 one, followed by a 2x2 corner tile. Add that 1x1 round tile with a bar at the base of that section, and connect to it a bar holder with clip.
And then just mirror that for the similar build on the other side of the neck.
That's a bit of a flimsy connection, mind, as the bottom 3x2 wedge pieces only held in there by a single connection point to that corner tile.
On its own, you'd be right, it's a bit fragile. However, when you add it to the model and eventually connect it to one of those flexible houses, you'll find it's held in place pretty well.
Good to hear. Next, let's have a look at altering the largest section nearest the front. So we remove the 2 slope pieces in the middle, add those plates with clips at the front that are so crucial to the effect we're after, connect a 1x2 plate at the back, and 2 1x1 tiles on top of it. Why 1x1 tiles instead of a single 1x2 tile? It's to keep the same lines the original design had, Gigi. Right. Gotcha. And finish off with a couple of 1x2 slope bricks.
Simple and efficient.
Now, the remaining 6 sections are identical, and their alterations is the same as what we've just done. Remove the original wedges, add the plates with clips at the front, a 1x2 plate at the back, a couple of 1x1 tiles on top of that, and finish it off with those 1x2 wedges. And just like that, the underside has been altered to accommodate those flexible hose parts.
There is an issue with those hoses, mind.
What issue? It's the same part as those for the dorsal array, so
Why would it be a problem? Because this new phaser area we're adding is actually closer to the center, meaning the curved oval we're creating will be narrower. Here, let me show you. Let's attach one of those long hoses starting at the front, wrap it around the back, and see? It's actually longer than we need it to be and extends beyond the last double clips. In fact, the shorter hose is also too long, and it too is extending beyond those double clips.
Back to the drawing board then?
Not at all. All we need is a good pair of scissors.
Is that allowed?
Purists might faint at the idea, but it might surprise you to learn that LEGO do suggest doing this in some of their own sets.
McCluck's absolutely right. The Space Needle, set number 21003 from 2009, is a perfect example of this, as in that model, you need to cut the tubing at step 15.
And if it's good enough for LEGO, it's good enough for us.
And after a bit of judicious cutting, here's our modified ventral saucer section, now with a brand new phaser array.
You can never have too many phasers.
I think it looks pretty good. And the oval shape the hoses make reinforce the oval look of the saucer section.
Now all we need to do is reattach it to the star drive section. Not so fast. First, there's something I've been dying to do to the nacelles. You know how we tried to add a grill piece to them to replicate the groove those nacelles have on the real Enterprise?
Yeah, we tried to do that, only to realize that those ticket parts were used to replicate that groove in the first place.
Hang on. Oh, just look at it now. Weren't those stickers actually meant to be doing the job of that 1x2 grill we just added?
Oh yeah, and now it doesn't make any sense to have done that.
They're kinda too far apart though.
They are too far apart, but McCluck's right. I can't believe we didn't realize that until now. Okay, well, let's just remove those grill pieces then, and replace them with plain 1x2 tiles.
To think we could have been spared having to use 4 stickers had LEGO just used a couple of 1x2 grilled pieces instead. As I loathe stickers, I took my own advice to heart, and in addition to those extra pieces we got for the phaser array, I also sneaked in a few of those 2x3 slope parts. So, let's remove the stickered ones, get rid of that 1x2 tile, and that 1x3 tile, add a new 1x1 tile, a 1x2 grill piece, reconnect the 1x2 tile at the back, and finally add those non-stickered 2x3 slope bricks. Do the same for the other nacelle, and we're done.
Oh, I have to agree with you, McCluck. Those nacelles look much better like that.
Right?
So, let's reattach the saucer section now, unless anyone has anything further to add? No? Good. Checking the underside, you'll now see a phaser array that should always have been there in the first place.
And in addition to that array, the nacelles look a lot cleaner with fewer stickers.
Spinning the Enterprise, I'm pretty pleased with what we've achieved here.
I'd call that a successful modification.
So there you have it. One modified, and I hope you'll agree, improved USS Enterprise 1701D, which needs to replace the version I have on display behind me. There. Perfect. So, do let us know. Actually, Captain?
What is it, Gigi?
Well, I think there's room for one more change.
What have you got in mind?
Oh, not with the Enterprise herself, but with Guinan's bottle.
What's wrong with it?
Well, it's supposed to be Aldebaran whiskey, right?
That's what the green-colored beverage is a reference to, yes.
Except Aldebaran whiskey doesn't come in a round bottle, but a rectangular one. Now, I know we can't use a rectangular piece as it would be too big, but it's possible to use a trans-green 1x1 brick. It's not a common piece, but it does exist. And then add to it a clear 1x1 round tub with a bar to replace the grey one for the top of the bottle, and I think you've got a much better bottle than the one that came with the set.
Not bad at all, Gigi. A fine addition to our model, and I think we'll leave it here for today. So tell me, what do you think of the latest changes we've made? Might you plan on following in our footsteps? Have you made other alterations to your own Enterprise model?
Do let us know in the comments. And if you like what we do,
And how we do it,
and you feel you'd like to help us out,
please hit the join button and become a channel member.
or consider joining our Patreon instead.
We'll leave a link to it down in the description.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. And in any case, Careful's our middle name. So with a little diligence, we were able to remove all the now unnecessary